Hi boys and girls, Mrs. Dennis here. Well, today we're going to talk about leaves. Now, if you've noticed outside that the days are getting a little bit shorter and the weather's getting a little cooler and some of the leaves might be changing already, that means we're going to start having fall soon. What we're going to do today is create a watercolor resist with a leaf rubbing. So what I want you to do is go out in your yard and find some leaves. I found, and you don't want the crumbly kind. You want something that's kind of still green or pliable. And pliable means you can still bend it. I found some tulip leaves and maple leaves. Go out and get a variety. And when I say variety, I mean different sizes and different types. And then come on back and join me. All right, I hope you got a bunch of leaves. This is going to be your supply list today. These are things that we're going to need for this art project. You're going to need a pencil to write your name, a set of watercolors, a brush, a cup of water, white paper, a messy mat to keep your area clean, crayons, your leaves that you should have already gotten, and some Scotch tape. When you're ready, we'll get started. Okay, you should have all your supplies ready to go. I did add one more, I forgot. If you have salt, salt will give an interesting effect to your watercolors. So go grab it if you want to have a little bit more texture to your art. This is what we're going to create. We're going to do a leaf rubbing. And if you look at your leaves, you have these veins, and the veins are what gives our leaves the nutrition that they need. When the fall comes, your tree will kind of go into like a hibernation, and the leaves will not give all the nutrition they need because the tree needs to store up all that energy for the winter. And that's why our leaves will change color and fall to the ground. But if you see, you can see all these veins and texture on your leaves. The backs of the leaves is best place to look. We are going to place them under our paper and give it a rubbing. And when we do that, we will be able to get an imprint of the veins from all our leaves so we can see the texture. So let's get your paper ready. Your first step is to write your name at the bottom. And then we will turn it over. I'm going to pick out what kind of leaves I want. Maybe I'll use this one, and I'll have this one over there. Maybe I'll try this one upside down. And then, actually, let me get a bigger one in there, just so I have a little variety with my shapes and sizes. When you're done setting up your composition, how you want your artwork to look, you are going to take a piece of tape, and this tape's just going to secure our leaf down. I have my leaf, the front is facing down. I just put a little tape donut there. Do you know how to do a tape donut? You get a piece of tape and stick the two ends together. This just helps hold our leaves in place. Then I'll move all this out of the way. I'm going to get my piece of paper and lay it on top. Now, if you feel like you don't want this moving either, you can go ahead and just secure it to your messy mat, like so. Now your next step is to find a cool color of crayon. Our cool colors are blues, purples, and greens. These are different kinds of crayons that do not have the wrapper on them. If you have a leaf or a crayon without the wrapper on it, that's best. Go ahead and peel your paper off if you have the crayons with the wrappers. You probably have some old ones laying around, and those would be great instead of using a brand new one. We're going to hold the crayon on our side. I'm using my helper hand to hold my paper, even though I know I still have tape holding it. And I'm going to rub back and forth. Now I start seeing my leaf show up. Look at all the veins from the leaf and the shape. Go all the way to your edges, moving your helper hand. If you're doing it and you see that part of it's not showing up real well, you might need to go over it a few times just to get it a little bit darker. Look at this. Now we can see a rubbing of our leaves. I can really further investigate all the texture. I don't even think I noticed all that texture on the leaf's edges. When you're done, put your crayons away. You can take your tape off. And get rid of your leaves. Now we get to get the paint out. All right, you should have your watercolors, your cup of water, your brush, and if you want your salt ready to go. What I'm gonna do is I painted my leaves with warm colors. Warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. They make us feel nice and toasty. The background we're gonna paint with cool colors. So I'm gonna go over here, grab my brush, press the bristles on the inside. Maybe I'll start with some yellow. I'm gonna try to see if I can't follow the shape of my leaf. Some leaves are gonna be easier than others. I did the outline first, and now I'm painting the inside. If I wanted to add a little orange in there, I could mix some of it up to make it look like this leaf is changing colors. It's getting ready to fall. If I wanted to add some red, I could do that too. Adding all these colors, you will not get brown. You will be mixing and getting your oranges and darker colors. Clean your brush, go to your next leaf and do the same thing. Maybe I want this one to be more orange. Whenever I run out of paint, I grab some more water and watercolors. The more you spin in your watercolors, the darker it will be. And I don't usually dig with my brush like that. I spin on my tippy toes. And we'll do the last one. This one I'll leave mostly yellow. This one's my favorite. I just love the texture of the edges of this leaf. Do you see what happens when we mix the red with the yellow? It starts turning orange. When you're done, you're gonna clean. Now we're gonna do the background. Now I had mine different colors of the cool colors. If you wanna do just one, you can do just one. If you wanna do multiples, do multiples. Make sure you go all the way to the edge. Wherever our crayon is, resists our watercolor paint. That's why this is called a crayon resist. Okay, last step. If you want to add some salt, just shake the salt on wherever on your paper, and when it dries, where the salt is kind of sucks up the paint and we'll leave it a little bit lighter. So you're not going to notice that at first. We're going to let it dry and then you'll notice. All right, so today we learned about leaves. We learned about texture, the way that something feels. We learned about rubbings. We learned about warm colors and cool colors. And we learned how to watercolor. I hope you had a lot of fun. I'll see you later.